Hey guys, Troy here back with another video, doing something a little bit different today, our first ever Zoom interview. And I'm so excited to have here Cardhour, one of the best soccer YouTubers out there, someone I was watching even before I started my channel. And we're going to talk about soccer cards today. So it's really nice to have you.
Hey man, what's up?
Yeah, good to have you here. I just kind
Thanks
of
for having me.
Yeah, of course. I just kind of want to have a casual conversation. Me and you have been going back and forth just talking about soccer cards and soccer in our free time for fun. So I'm excited to get this recorded here. One of the first things I wanted to ask you, even just for myself, selfishly, is what do you think about the debate between cards and stickers, especially you being European and kind of, I'm assuming at least growing up more in that sticker culture?
Yeah, it's been interesting to see what the debate is actually about. Yeah, me being from Europe, I actually grew up with soccer stickers. That was a thing we had in school. That's what the thing we had or what we were doing in our free time. Like collecting the stickers of the players we loved. I think it's more or less the same that what Americans grew up with, like collecting baseball cards. We did it with soccer stickers. So I think it's not really a big difference. That it's just a different sport according to what's most popular, I think.
Hmm.
Um, Now with the whole hobby thing, it's yeah, I feel like, and maybe I'm generalizing it, but I feel like Europeans are cool with cards, but most Americans have a problem or have an issue with stickers. I'm not sure if that's true or it's just my observation.
Yeah.
Um, we as Europeans are cool with cards. We would want to buy cards if they hold a specific meaning to that player.
Hmm.
But I feel like sometimes the majority want to come in and dictate what that the card would be more value than the sticker. I'm just gonna give you a quick example with the Mbappe. A
Hmm.
lot of people, and you saw it with the boom. A lot of people turned to the Prism 2018 because it was the first World Cup card. It was Prism. He won the World Cup. In fact, 2 years before there was a sticker like the 2016 sticker. It was actually considered his rookie.
Hmm.
They were gravitating more towards the Prism card because it was a card and not a sticker. Um, while it was clear that while Prism dropped, that this rookie sticker actually went up in price. So I think that shows you that Prism has a place. Like, I mean, both cards and stickers have a place, and I would totally agree. I have no issue with buying cards. I have no issue with buying stickers, obviously, as long as they hold a meaning for that to that player. Um, but yeah, it's so interesting, man. I mean, I hear a lot of different opinions, and I'm cool with everything as long as they're grounded, of they're reasonable. Um, but yeah, it's just I would always value the sticker more if it's an actual true rookie. But I
Yeah.
have no issue with buying cards as well.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. For me, like I honestly I prefer cards just because it's physical. It's what I grew up with. It's just I don't know. If there's any Europeans watching, they might come at me here, but I just think they're cooler than stickers. But and
Right.
also the fact I just sent a couple Erling Haaland's his rookie sticker to PSA, and I keep seeing them on eBay, and the sticker is like out of the case, which just like
Yeah, yeah, I
that
saw
that,
that.
that almost ruins it for me right there. But on the side of stickers, the thing that's really cool that you talked about is true rookies. That's always like the coolest thing to me, is because the cool thing about a rookie card is like you're buying, stock in a sense at the very beginning. Like that's the coolest thing for me to see. Like, sorry to pivot to basketball real quick, but like LeBron James, right? Seeing him in
Hmm.
his 2003 Cavs uniform is really cool. But
Yeah.
you talked about Mbappe and someone I like Bruno Fernandez. His first card is on Sporting, but if I'm not mistaken, he was on Udinese before, and he has a sticker from there, and probably even a
Yeah.
sticker from before that. So, and Mbappe, do you know if he had a major Monaco card released?
Not that I know of. It's just if I'm not mistaken, it's just a sticker with him and the other guy. Um,
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking too.
yeah,
I think of
yeah,
Mbappe as a rookie right on Monaco. That's how maybe
yeah.
people watching know him more from PSG, but he really burst onto the scene when he was playing for Monaco. So if I was to have his rookie, like I would want him in a Monaco jersey. So that's kind of what I think about the stickers. It's cool, but also at the same time, I don't know. There's not really a right answer, I guess. The market's still evolving so much.
Yeah, and I think that that's something people tend to forget, that there is no right or wrong. It can be both. It can be like whatever you want it to be actually. And at the end of the day, the market's going to decide. If you don't care about cards, but the market clearly dictates that the value or that the prices are in the cards, then it's just the way it is. You may not agree and you don't buy the card. That's totally fine too. If you put more for yourself, more value into the sticker, then you buy the sticker. It comes down to what you value the most. Do you want to flip cards? Like, do you want to make money? Then you have to follow the market, because that's where the
Yeah.
money is. Do you want to build a personal collection, or do you value stickers, or do you value the true rookie? Then you sometimes have to look to stickers, whether you like it or not. I mean, I have to do the same with, if I want to invest in basketball, that's going to be cards. That's not going to be stickers. So whether I like it or not, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, no, that's really well put. And actually, speaking of basketball cards, just real quick, I saw on eBay the other day a LeBron James like Campione in Italy rookie sticker. I don't know, it's one, but they have like a Ronaldo one that's really similar. And I didn't even know there was a European basketball sticker, so that was actually really cool to see. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, you spoke about the market. Well, actually, before that, real quick, excuse me, you talked about buying what you like. I'm gonna echo that every single video I do. At the end of the day, whether you're investing or not, like you have to buy what you like. We talk about that a lot. If you don't enjoy what you're buying, you're never going to stick with it. We're here to enjoy. We're here to enjoy the hobby. So I definitely agree with that. But going real quick back to what you said about the market and how it's growing and evolving, it's really crazy what's happening with soccer right now, because I think the market has matured and changed so much, even in like just the past 3 months. So
Yeah.
for anyone to say like, okay, it has to be the sticker or it has to be the card, it's just you don't know, because it's still changing every single day. And on that topic, I was just curious to see your thoughts. You know, having a little experience with soccer, obviously, but also investing in a sense. What have you thought about what's happened with the soccer card market just for the past couple months?
It's been really interesting. I was never really sold on the whole Prism idea,
Mm-hmm.
um, because, as I said, for me as a European guy, I would value cards and stickers that hold meaning to a certain player.
Yeah,
I wasn't like, I know Americans have this thing with first Prism, first Select, first whatever. I
yeah,
wasn't I wasn't really sure what to think of it. Like, how can you justify paying like $500 for a raw card of a 10th year? Let's put it another way. Like a 10th year card of a player is
yeah,
like, it doesn't make sense to me. So I wasn't really high on the Prism train. Of course, if you wanted to make a lot of money, that was the way to go, because everything was Prism. Everything Prism went up like crazy. Um, but as you saw, Prism was also the first to drop like insane. Like the prices are nowhere near where they used to be. Some are climbing back up. You see some prices go up again. But it also has to do with player that seasons returning. So I don't think it's like it still relies heavily on hype. I think Prism, unless it's like the 2018 Prism of Mbappe, because that actually holds meaning to Mbappe.
yeah.
But I think there are a lot of cards, a lot of Prism cards that are just floating about. I guess I think a lot of people lost a lot of money with Prism,
Oh yeah,
and I hope for those people that Prism sees a return when the Euros come, maybe when the Champions League is here, first Champions League, then the Euros, maybe the World Cup, that spikes that interest again in Prism. A lot of new people are probably coming in again. So I hope for a lot of people that Prism is going back up. Let's put
yeah.
it that way.
I definitely agree with you that like first Prism is overhyped. It didn't make sense to me. Like you said, a 10th or whatever 14th year card for someone like
Yeah.
Messi or Ronaldo. It's always just off the top of my head. Messi Mega Cracks is like, or those type of cards are always going to be number
Yeah.
one. The Prism should not have as much significance as it does. The only part where I kind of get confused and I'm not really even sure what to think is someone like, once
Yeah.
again, this is off the top of my head, Lewandowski. If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, he had some cards like from Poland or maybe before that. But
Yeah.
2016, if I'm not mistaken, was his first big release, like major card release. So in that case, I
Yeah. I
feel
think
like it,
so.
it does hold some value. Maybe guys like, I don't know, like Salah or some of these guys, especially from non-major countries a lot of the time. Like the Prism is their first real card. But even then, if I was like, I know Lewandowski Poland cards exist. If I was able to get my hands on those, I feel like that's what I would have to go after.
Yeah, I mean that brings it back to the whole debate. Like, do you value his true rookie? That would
Yeah.
probably be a sticker, or do you really want to have a card? That's fine too. But in terms of value, I think you should be realistic. Not you, but just people in general. That if you value,
Yeah.
then it's probably not going to be the card, and that's fine too. But then it's just comes down to your expectations and what you're really looking for, or what you really what it comes down. I always try to compare to other sports that people understand, like basketball. A lot of the time, people understand. Like, let's say LeBron has 5 stickers in his first 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and in his 6th year, there's all of a sudden a card brand that's Prism.
Yeah.
Like, are we going to disregard every single sticker before that card and then name that card a rookie? I don't think so. I don't think that would happen. So uh, just be mindful and aware what we're doing,
Yeah.
especially with your hard-earned money, because at the end of the day, you're spending your hard-earned money on cards, right?
Definitely. And it's so well said. If you're investing and you're taking the stance that you're 100% going to disregard stickers, you're just making a mistake. Not from an enjoyment aspect, from broadening your horizons, but also just from a financial aspect. Like you said, your hard-earned money, you're going to cut out a big part of the market and a big part of the demand coming from Europe and the US. There's demand for it in the US too. I think that's just a mistake. But you talked about Prism. I actually got an interesting comment the other day on my YouTube. Someone was saying, like, what do you think is going to happen with the World Cup 2022 Prism cards? And, you know, I don't have a crystal ball. I know you wouldn't claim to have one either. But someone like Giovanni Reina, you know, I'm calling it right now. The US is making the World Cup. So there comes the jinx. But if he has that 2022 World Cup Prism, I'm really interested to see how the price of that compares to his Topps Chrome 2018 Bundesliga that came out. He doesn't really have the sticker issue, you can call it, because he had a card like right away. So I guess that's an easier comparison. But I just know how excited everyone is going to be with the World Cup 2022 Prism cards when they come out. So it'll be interesting to see if those other ones drop or not.
Yeah, I mean, if everything stays the same, that as soon as there's a release, like
Yeah.
these boxes shoot up like crazy, because it's not funny anymore. Like, as soon as they are released, they're either out of stock or they're like tripled in price before they even hit the market. So um, let's hope it calms down a bit, that more people get to enjoy
Yeah.
buying boxes again, because a lot of people are priced out from the start. Um, so yeah, the World Cup is definitely gonna be. I keep saying it's gonna be a real test, because right now the market is in a bit of a dip.
Yeah.
I see some cards going back up, so that's a good sign. But the World Cup is really gonna spark that major interest, because everyone loves the World Cup. It's like Champions League times 10.
Yeah.
It's your country. People are rooting for your country. Like in the Champions League, it's still like, do you have a team? No, then you just root for basically anyone and no one. Uh, but when it's the World Cup, people have this tie with their country. All of a sudden, the whole country unites. Like in Belgium, it's crazy. Um, Everything turns red. Everything turns Belgium. Everything turns to the Red Devils. So it unites the whole country. So I think that's gonna be a real test, or a real um, milestone in the soccer card collecting history, or whatever you want to call it. Um, but I think we're gonna do just fine. Like collectors and investors, I think we went on the good way.
Yeah, I think if the card market it even stays, not even increases, really just kind of stays where it's
Yeah,
at, the World Cup
yeah,
2022 is going to be a moment like we've never seen before for cards. Like the
yeah,
interest and everything is going to explode, because one of the things I said in like one of my videos is I think a lot of the reason people shy away from soccer is because there's so many leagues and they've never heard of these teams before and all this stuff.
yeah,
The World Cup is the time where it just becomes basically the NBA. Everyone is together. There's one league. And
yeah,
I just think it's going to be so exciting. I'm so excited to watch, like you said, just watching with your friends, everything's in red, just being in like, you know, a bar with your friends and you're cheering them on. I'm imagining
yeah,
that. except, you know, I'm watching France and I own an Mbappe rookie and he scores a game-winning goal. Like that
Dude,
feeling is just, it's just going to be
that's gonna
crazy.
be
Like
insane.
I'm just
Yeah.
so excited for that. But yeah, no, I talked about, I'm talking about Mbappe, some players. I mentioned Giovanni Reina, obviously someone I'm biased to. Who are some of your favorite players or guys you're looking forward to watching?
Um, Haaland, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think he's special. Um, I've recently made a video about comparing players to Messi,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, besides Mbappe, because I still think Mbappe is still on another level, but in when you have all the other players, I think Haaland shows the signs of a scoring machine. He had when he came to Dortmund, he was instantly scoring. It was not like he needed 10 games to get used to the league, or he
Yeah.
needed all these adjustments. He came on the field and he started scoring goals. I think Haaland could be one of these guys that, I'm not saying the next Messi, of course, but could turn into Lewandowski, which would be an amazing achievement, because people sometimes forget that there are a lot of more players besides Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But I think Haaland would be one to watch, even though he plays for Norway. It's one of these it's one of these things, like you don't choose where you get born. It's
Yeah.
the same with Shevchenko had with Ukraine. Shevchenko
Well,
was like this
unless you're like Diego
major.
Costa or one of those guys where you do actually get to choose where you're, or the entire Chinese national team apparently now.
Yeah. So it was like you don't get to choose. Like as I said, Shevchenko, like
Yeah.
Zlatan, some players play like image icons, and
Yeah.
then they play for the national team, and then yeah, it's like. But I think Haaland is one to watch. Another one in terms of just numbers, it's gonna be Jadon Sancho. I think
Mhm.
he's not only scoring goals, he also is giving assists. It's also going to be interesting to see where it's going with this Manchester United talk. The last thing I read is that it's not going through, like it's not going to happen. So I think those two are like going to be fun to watch. There are
Yeah.
a lot of others, but for me, those two are like it's gonna way up there on the top. Yeah,
Definitely. That makes me think of a couple of things I saw lately. First of all, Holland. I 100% agree. He just jumps off the screen every time he plays. Like the power, the
yeah,
speed, and also more importantly, the football IQ that he plays with is just
yeah,
crazy. And I saw a comment that was like, I will be, if he doesn't get sold to Real Madrid for 140 million euros, I'll be shocked. And I feel the same way. Like it's just a matter of time, I think, before that happens. And you know, if you have his cards, that's a moment right there for you. And also talking about Jadon Sancho, that's my two. So I'm really happy to see that me and you are kind of thinking on the same wavelength. Erling Haaland and
yeah,
Jadon Sancho are probably my main two. I saw another chart from transfer market of the most expensive players in the world, and that's obviously like not a perfect measure of their value. But the ones I
yeah,
saw on there were surprisingly, I do not think Haaland was on it. But you know, you had
yeah,
like Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, some of the names you'd expect. But the two youngest players besides Mbappe were Jadon Sancho and Trent Alexander-Arnold in the top 10.
yeah.
And I'm sure if we
Makes
had an
sense.
accurate list, Holland would be number 11, if not like number 6 or something. So that's it right there. If some of you guys are watching and you're thinking about who to invest in, I just feel like the fact that Jadon Sancho, Holland, and Trent Alexander-Arnold cards aren't through the roof already. I mean, they're a little expensive, but not if you compare it to Mason Greenwood, whose cards are going for like almost
Yeah.
$250. So I just think that that's such an opportunity. And like it is in any sport, you want to buy those people who can really be stars and lead their teams. Like you said, unfortunately, I'm not sure Holland will have that World Cup moment, but I think, I mean, Norway is really talented. They have, you know, Odegaard and
Yeah.
some of these other guys. I haven't, once again, this is, you guys were having fun here. We're just kind of shooting off the hip a little bit. What do you think about Norway's chances of even getting to the World Cup?
Well, yeah, they still have to qualify.
Yeah.
Um, I think they could get there.
Yeah.
As you said, like they have talent is there. I mean, and it's not because you have big names that you actually do something. Because if we saw to England, everyone was super excited. They had a loaded team. The names were insane, and they scraped out a 1-0 victory with a penalty, and then they drew 0-0 against the team that was on paper not as qualitative.
Mhm.
So it's not because you put all these crazy names together that you get like a super team. On paper, yes, but look at what's happening to PSG. They're
Yeah,
spending millions and millions and millions and millions, and they just reached their first Champions League final. So I think you never can disregard scoring players, because at the end of the day, if you can keep like the back shot and you have someone like Haaland who can score at any moment, anything is possible. Um, but of course, as you maybe you've noticed it, but a lot of countries are like this transition period where a lot of young players are coming in and a lot of more established players are going out because of age, retirement, and all that stuff. So I think the pandemic was very good in terms of players getting chances and maturing. So I think if the pandemic wasn't there, that the outcome of the Euros would be totally different. Um, but as you've seen, like the list of England, all young guys who had some more time to mature, some more play time, some more experience. So coming back to Haaland, I think I hope just for the soccer card market and just the soccer world in general that he's going to make it, because everyone is excited about Haaland, whether you like Norway or not. So
definitely. And we're talking a lot about kind of like, the trendy, hip, hype names that, maybe even some of you guys watching who aren't super into soccer know the names Holland and Mbappe, even just from our videos. But you actually had a great video recently that I just watched about kind of like the stars of soccer in the past and educating, kind of people on them. You had some great names in there, but do you have kind of a favorite star who's maybe not playing right now or at his full strength?
yeah, well, from the past, it was always Beckham. That's
Mm.
who I fell in love with. That was for me the player growing up. Like, yeah, I followed everywhere he go. I didn't had like a favorite team. It was just the team what Beckham was on. So,
Yeah,
um, yeah, for me it was Beckham.
definitely. And
Uh,
just going off that real quick, is that something you aspire to maybe pick up? I know he has like actually a couple rookies I've been seeing. Is that something that you aspire to get or maybe see as a potential investment?
um, yeah, I have a Beckham card actually.
Okay.
One of the early ones. I think it's a 1996 one.
Yeah.
Um, it's also different with Beckham, I think, because now he's coaching Inter Miami in America. So I think investment wise, that would be pretty smart, because if you see what his project is there, he's building like a $1 billion infrastructure there. So he's bringing in he has the connections. He's bringing in a lot of retired or almost retired European soccer players, like Higuain just joined, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken,
It is.
who has been a household name in the European competitions for like forever.
Yeah.
So I think he's yeah, an exception, maybe, that he's worth investing in from my point of view.
Mhm.
But maybe I'm a bit biased because I really like him.
No, I mean, I think you're right. I think that people always say, as many people say, and I say, the eyes, where the eyes are, that's very important in sports card or sticker investing. And you see it in basketball 100%. Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, like literally, I would not be surprised if their prices go up every time they're on TV, if they have like a funny moment on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think the fact that David Beckham has those eyes on him and he's relevant, and maybe some of these other players, we don't have to get into naming all of them, but the players who are still kind of active as members of team, like ambassadors of teams or in the media and everything, I think that's another thing definitely to think about. That's really helpful actually for me to think about too. So I'm glad you say that. But just, yeah, that was really helpful insight. Just kind of wrapping up here, I just wanted to see if you had any advice. I'm sure there's a lot of people watching who are new to soccer, especially soccer investing. Any advice for them as they start their journeys and think about what cards to pick up or what their strategy is going to be?
I think the most important one is take your time and first read into it before you actually start buying cards. That's one, maybe a mistake that I did in the past, is was just buy without even looking up the full market, like what the card was in the market,
Mm.
if this set that I was buying actually made sense, because I knew a lot more about the players and the sets. So I would say take your time. Don't just jump in and start buying every single card people advise you to, because a lot of new podcasts pop up, a lot of new channels pop up, and they all talk what they believe is true or what they experience, and that might be maybe not what's really happening. So just be selective who you listen to, and really do. It's cliche. Everyone is saying it, but it's the truth. Just do your research. Know what you're actually buying. Know what you're actually doing. Know what the player you buy has the role in the team. Really know the team in the competition. I know it sounds like a lot, but at the end of the day, not any things that are worth having are don't mostly don't come easy. It's
Yeah.
like with everything in life. So really know what you do before you just start jumping in and listening to other people, because I think a lot of people lost money because they listened to other people telling them to buy in Prism. So that's just a quick example. Just know what you're doing, understand the market, and don't just jump in and spend your hard-earned money on everything you see.
Yeah, I mean, just going off what you said, I'll have one that's like very clear and direct to people right now. Do not pay for a membership of people telling you to buy soccer cards if they cannot name the team people are on. That's going to be just a hard no. Usually I try to
Yeah.
like paint generally of like, oh, maybe if you think no, that one is a no. Don't do that. But more seriously, I would say it's kind of like what you have, educating yourself, but educating yourself to have a plan in
Yeah.
anything in life. If you go to play a sport, if you want to talk to a cute girl, in a sense, like you should have a plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but especially with investments. So, even if you don't know soccer that much and you're like, oh, I don't need to research, you have to at least research enough where you have a plan. If you're buying
Yeah.
an Mbappe Prism 2018 World Cup, you have to at least have a general idea of when you're getting rid of that. So know when Champions League finals are, know when know when the World Cup is. That's an easy one, but just know when these players are going to have a moment, or someone like
Yeah.
Messi,
Totally.
Ronaldo. Just know how old they are. You know what I mean? Like Ronaldo, I would hate to talk bad about him because he might be my favorite player of all time. But you have to
Right.
know that there's a decline coming at some point. And if you're holding those cards at that point, you may end up taking losses. So, like do your research. That's my broad, and both of our actually broad
Yeah.
uh, recommendation of people. But mine specifically would be, have that plan. Educate yourself enough where you're knowledgeable enough to have a plan of how you're buying and selling. But yeah, that's it, man.
That's a good one.
I really appreciate having you on here. I hope people were able to learn.
My pleasure.
And just as always, man, it's just great talking to you about soccer. I really enjoy it. Someone as knowledgeable as you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, and was good fun.
Yeah, and also before I forget, everyone, Cardhour. I'm sure you guys know him. He's bigger than me on YouTube, but he's getting pretty big. One of the bigger soccer YouTubers. Make sure to subscribe to him. Cardhour has really I was looking at well edited videos, man. I like that last one with the old footage and everything. So congrats on that. But definitely subscribe to him. He has
Thanks.
great data, well edited videos. If you want to learn more about soccer, definitely check him out. Thank you guys for watching. Plug myself too. Make sure to like and subscribe down below, and we'll see you guys again soon. Thanks.